Kia ora koutou katoa, ngā mihi mahana kia koutou, I huri no I te motu. Warm greetings to you all, our amazing social services Kaimahi who have participated in our SSPA Kaimahi Hauora program. It has been such a privilege and pleasure to journey with you all over the past 6 weeks as we have collectively explored the different aspects of holistic hauora through the frameworks of Te Whare Tapawhā and the 5 ways to wellbeing. When I started in my role leading social service providers Aotearoa, it was a moimoia, a dream of mine, that we would champion this kaupapa of holistic hauora for our social services kaimahi. I saw that across our sector, we're not doing enough to really focus on this, to normalise the fact that, as social services kaimahi, we need to be taking care of our own hauora as well as alongside doing the work that we do to take care of others and support others every day. So I'm so thrilled that you have chosen this year to be a part of this special program. Thank you for making that commitment and taking the time out of your mahi and to fit it into your busy schedule. I know that that has been something that you've all juggled, and whether you've managed to attend a couple of sessions or attended all 6 sessions, it has been so great to have you along with us as part of this program together. I thought I'd just record this brief post-session video for you all. Hopefully it's useful for those who couldn't make it along to our 6th session today, and maybe it's even of use for those of you who could make it today. So in terms of what we covered today, we are in the maramataka of Mauri. So Mauri tu, Mauri ora, it's a real chance to stand in that space that we have and to contemplate, to reflect and to be mindful about where we are. So a perfect alignment for the kaupapa that we focused on today, because today's session really was all about contemplation and reflection back on the 6-week journey that we've had during this program, as well as a bit of a look forward, whakamoa, looking forward into what we'd like to do next with this very important kaupapa for all of us working in the social services and communities and hapori throughout the motu. So if you couldn't make it along today, just to give you a sense of what we covered. So first of all, we broke out into breakout rooms amongst the group for a time of reflection that was about reflecting together on, what have been some of the biggest learnings from the program that people have taken. Also, we asked what's resonated with you from this program, and also what whakaaro have been sparked for you about Kaimahi Hauora through this program. We all got back together in the big room and there was some amazing whakaaro shared back. It sounds like this program has really had a positive impact for those that we heard from today, and it makes my heart very, very happy. So it was wonderful to hear that. We then also asked you to have a think about, what's something that you're going to take forward with you from this program that you can sort of commit to implementing, I guess, or trying to practice in your everyday life or your mahi. It might be something really small, like maybe reminding yourself to take those 3 deep breaths before you go into a hard hui, for example. Or it might be something around a journaling practice that you might start, or maybe picking up on some of the tools and practices that some of our amazing session kaitiaki have shared with us. But I really encourage you to reflect on that for yourself over the coming weeks. What's one practice or commitment that you're going to make to yourself to carry forward from this Kaimahi Hauora program? I really hope that you can take the time to do that yourself. Then the next part of our session today was the whakamoa focused part. So this was about thinking forward together. And also this was a bit more focused on us as a hapori, a community. We asked our groups and breakouts again today to think about what's your moemoeā for social services Kaimahi Hauora? And by this, we were asking, what would you like to see happen next with this kaupapa to build this community of social services Kaimahi, focusing on Kaimahi Hauora? For example, would you like us to support you in holding a community of practice space? Would you like to see the program broadened out and offered to other people? Or did you have other ideas? And we heard some amazing ideas come back from everyone. Some common threads coming through seem to hear that a lot of people are really keen to continue to connect with each other in some way, and to also work together to, I guess, continue to share, the mātauranga that sits across the rōpū, and also to support each other as we continue to focus on this kaupapa, as we return to our own mahi, our own lives around the motu. So in terms of what comes next from that, we are going to be reflecting on all that feedback that we've heard in today's session, and also some other feedback that we're keen to gather from you. And then we will be coming back out to you to let you know what we think we might be able to support this rōpū to do as a community, so that we continue to build and tautoko and awhi this focus on Kaimahi Hauora. Something that I also shared up at the start of today's session was just a bit of a recap of where we've been together over the past 5 weeks of the program. So really this is just to sort of jog our memories, because we've covered quite a lot of ground in the program, and I'm sure you, like me, are sort of thinking back and wanting to hold on to all of that mātauranga. So I just thought I'd share a brief overview of the ground that we've covered. Hopefully it just is a bit of a reminder of where we've been. So we started together 6 weeks ago, together on a journey focusing on holistic hauora for Aotearoa New Zealand social services Kaimahi, recognising that this isn't something that we really have a space to focus on together around this kaupapa. So that's really what we wanted to create with the program. Our first week, tuatahi, was focused on the theme of whenua, connect, and it was in the time of the maramataka of Rākau Nui, which is really about being purposeful in our actions. And so it was a great time to start the program together. We had Tuihana, our lead facilitator, take us through the first part of our first session, which was really a space for whakawhanaungatanga, to get to know one another. Tuihana also reminded us of the power of te taiao, the natural world, and that Papatuanuku, our Earth Mother, is always there for us to support and hold us and nourish our holistic hauora, and that reconnecting with te taiao and Papatuanuku can be a really strong way to ground ourselves and our hauora. Tuihana also took us through a te ha, a breath practice. Again, just a reminder of the grounding nature of te ha, the breath. We then, in that second part of our first session, had the privilege of learning from Meretini, an expert on te maramataka. And I know that from hearing what many of you have shared today, that this focus on te maramataka has really stuck with you, and someone today shared that it's helped you to be really more intentional and mindful in your work and as you move through the world. So I know that for many of us, we took that link with gratitude from Meretini and installed it on our phone, and we now have our maramataka there at our fingertips. So if you haven't done that, it might be something that you'd like to do. In our second week of the program, our focus was on the theme of whānau, te taha whānau, and give. And so we had Te Rehine and Matua Harley take us through the session. They are kaharawa, and their session was focused on atua pūrākau, and thinking about the practice of being with others, of our own whānau, the whānau who we work with, and how we can be in those spaces, some of the practices and self-awareness that we need to have to do our mahi and social services well. We have this session at the time of the Tangaroa a Moa phase of the maramataka, and it's a high energy and productive time of the maramataka, and I think we really felt that energy in that session with Te Rehine and Matua Hali. Something that I took from that session, and as someone who has experienced anxiety in the past and still experience that from time to time, was I learned in that session that Haumia Tiki Tiki is the god of anxiety. And it was just a nice reminder that we all, I think, feel anxiety from time to time, and especially in this kind of mahi that we do across our social services, because it can be heavy sometimes because we feel that sense of responsibility for and with the children and rangatahi and whānau that we walk alongside. Anxiety is something normal that we experience, but as we were reminded in the second session of our program, it's really about how we can put in place tools and strategies to help ourselves to manage that. Also to think about how we don't carry that in with us where possible. So how we come into a space, especially when working with a team of people or with whānau, how we come into a space is really important, and it's also really important how we leave that space as well. Te Rehine and Matua Hali shared with us a couple of different practices, including the tapping of our meridian points, which can be very grounding. I think they shared that originally that is an Inuit practice. And I think through this program, we've been reminded of the deep and ancient wisdom that comes from our Indigenous people, including our tangata whenua here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. So then we moved into week 3 of our program, and our theme was Wairua, take notice. And this was, we shared this space together in the time of Tamatea Aeo, which the maramataka at that time is around caution and being aware. So it was a really well-aligned space for us to have this conversation that Julie led us through around issues in relation to burnout at work. She reminded us that our organisations, because of the mahi that we do and because of some of the experiences that we carry with us, there's often trauma within our organisations, and so the importance of being aware of that. And also she highlighted and reminded us of the importance of sound relationships with one another, being able to have relationships where we can notice what's going on for others around us and our teams and our organisations, and also to be able to have difficult conversations where they need to be had, but to hold each other in relationship as we do that. She reminded us of the importance of solidarity, of shouldering each other up, drawing on the work of Vicky Reynolds from Canada, and that we have this collective care ethic for each other. There was a Zone of Fabulousness workbook that we provided to you in support of our third session. So if you haven't had a chance to work through those worksheets, I really encourage you to, because how we support each other across our social services sector is really going to be how we can build this collective care ethic for one another, and also stay in that zone of fabulousness and hopefully not get to the point of burnout, even when we're doing some really, really hard mahi. Then our fourth week of our program was around the theme of tinana, be active. We had the pleasure of being taken through that session by the amazing collective of No Mai Tau Mai, Paul, Jem and Chrissy. I hope you remember the beautiful waiata that they shared with us, and also they reminded us of the power of just being in our tinana, our body, of supporting rather than efforting, and also of they shared some practices with us around breath, meditation, self-massage of our hands, and just the gentle movement and how useful that can be. And we can do that sitting in a chair, we can do that just getting up and walking around from our desk or between things that we're doing in the day. And so just being in our tinana. And they recorded a really beautiful practice on a video for us, which is in the digital resource kite. So do check that out if you haven't had a chance to yet. And then our fifth week session tuarima was around hinenaro, so te taha hinenaro, our mind, and keeping learning. And so Kali took us through this session, and she drew on her taonga puoro and also on pūrākau again, stories. She reminded us of the importance of storytelling and the role that that can play, and how powerful the stories that we tell ourselves, that we share in our whānau, that the whānau who we work with share, just how important those can be and that we can shape those. And I think that's especially important when we work with children, rangatahi and whānau, encouraging them to build pūrākau that are grounded in their strengths, and that build on that is really, really important. Also for ourselves too, as we continue in this social services mahi that we do. And I'll always remember how nourishing it was at the end of that session with Kali when she shared with us that pūrākau of Hine Rākau Tauri, and the cocoon around the pūrere tree. And then that brought us up to today, which was our sixth session. As I said, it was really all around being in this time of Mauri, and a chance to contemplate, to reflect, and to have some mindfulness around where we are at, as well as reflecting on where we've been together over these past 6 weeks. So that's a quick wrap up and reflection and a reminder of what we've covered together over the course of the 6 weeks in this program together that we've journeyed through. And I really, again, just want to say a massive thank you for the energy that you've all brought to this program, the open-heartedness and the open-mindedness that you've brought to participating in this program, and also that you've really come to the program with your taringa wide open to listen to one another's experience and to handle that with care, because that is a taonga, the experience of each and every one of us when it comes to our Hauora. It's a privilege to hear any insight into that, and I'm really grateful for the respect that everyone's shown for one another in line with our kawa for this program as we've moved through the past 6 weeks together. So just, I'll wrap up shortly, but I did also want to just share some of the thank yous that I shared at the end of the program today, just to acknowledge you all as participants first and foremost. Thank you for taking the time again, but thank you also for the mahi that you do every day out there in our communities in Hapori that you are a part of. The mahi that you do is often unseen, but it is so deeply valued and appreciated. And the change that you make for the better every day in our country is so important. So kia kaha tō mahi tōnu, keep your work strong in the times ahead. And also know that social service providers Aotearoa is the sector peak body. We are always here to tautoko you and your organisations. So you know where to find us. You're always welcome to get in touch. If your organisation is not a member of SSPA already, then please get in touch with us. We always welcome new members to come and join us. So we would love to have you as part of our collective rōpū. So do reach out to us. Also, a massive thank you to all the amazing kaitiaki who have collaborated with us to make this program happen for you. The incredible session kaitiaki that I've mentioned across our 5 weeks, and also, of course, a huge mihi to Tuihana, who has been our incredible lead kaitiaki, weaving the threads throughout the week, throughout the weeks, holding the space for us. Ngā mihi nunui kia koe Tuihana, mō tō tautoko, mō tō awhi, mō tō aroha. Thanks Tuihana for all of the love and the care and the support that you've shown for this community as we've moved through the past 6 weeks together. It has been a real privilege to work alongside you on this kaupapa. Also want to acknowledge, as many of you brought up today, we were so pleased to be able to subsidise heavily this program to make it accessible for you. So big acknowledgement to our funders for this program, Foundation North, Rata Foundation and Trust Waikato, and also to the Centre for Social Impact, the amazing team there, Karinia, Helen, Catherine, Kirsty, and all the team at CSI who've been working week in, week out with us behind the scenes to make all the tech work, get the comms out to you all, to bring the digital resource kete together for you. Could not be more grateful to the team at CSI. I do want to share a couple of last reminders as well before I wrap up. You've still got access to the digital resource kete. We know that some of you have had some trouble accessing that, so we are going to see if we can send out the link again so that you've got that. That'll be available for you for a certain length of time. We're just working out when there's going to be a cutoff for that, but you will have a chance, hopefully, to download the resources if you'd like to hold on to them. Remember that there's a video from most weeks of the program. Some weeks there's a practice recorded for you, and also, of course, slides or resources from our session kaitiaki for each week of the program. Also hope that you've enjoyed your physical resource kete that we've provided out to you. I know that some of you are still waiting for those just due to some snail mail issues, but we hope that you'll enjoy it when it lands with you. Please, continue to get use out of the things that we've included in that specially put together kete for you, and feel free to share some of them as well with your fellow homahi and also with your whānau if you'd like to as well. As I said, SSPA remains really committed to this kaupapa and continuing to tautoko holistic Kaimahi Hauora across our social services sector. This is something that our members have told us is really important to them and that they want to see us champion, so we will continue to do that. As I said, you'll receive an email from us soon with a bit of a follow-up from the session. We'd also love it for you if you can jump into our survey. We'd love to hear any and all feedback. So there's, I think, 4 or 5 short questions there that I'd really love it if you could take a few minutes to answer for us. So we'll make sure to reshare the link to that in the email that comes out. It's a SurveyMonkey, easy to access for everyone. So I'd love it if you jump on there and do that. We also have a session coming up this Friday, a focus group wānanga, which will be independently facilitated by an amazing person called Rachel, who's a specialist in evaluation. It's basically going to be a 1-hour conversation on Zoom where you can share your feedback about the program and delve in a bit more to what might come next with your ideas. So hopefully you've received an email from me inviting you along to that. Everyone's welcome, whether you've managed to attend 2 or 3 sessions or all sessions. We'd love to hear from everyone during that focus group wānanga this Friday at 10 a.m. So please come along if you can. And then I think the last thing that I just wanted to say is that we recognise that during the course of this 6-week program, we've covered a lot of ground, and we also recognise that for some of the kaupapa, we've really only started to scratch the surface or sort of start to open up a conversation. We recognise that for some of you, and we heard this today, it's been great, but also quite overwhelming because it started your thinking to open up in a whole lot of different directions, and you've had a lot of input that you're now needing some time to process. So I really hope, I know that we're coming into a very busy time of the year, and I know that many of our social services Kaimahi, you keep working over the summer season, but I really hope that you are able to find some time, carve out a little bit of time for you over this summer to just really reflect on the things that have resonated for you in this program, maybe also some of the things that you found a bit more challenging, and so that you can really take what you've gained from this program and add it to your Hauora kite, and really consolidate that so that you can carry that forward into the coming years with you. No reira, I think I will close off there, but just again to say thank you so much for walking with us as part of this collective rōpū on this journey the past 6 weeks around Kaimahi Hauora, and just to say continue to nourish yourself when you can. Also a big mihi to all your whānau, because I know your families and whānau stand behind you and support you in your mahi, and to be able to engage with kaupapa like this. So kia kaha tonu, kia haumaru, stay strong and be well, take care over the coming weeks, and mauri ora. Mā te wā.